Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter truly lived a life like no other. From Georgia to the White House and all around the world, hand in hand with former President Jimmy Carter, they were inseparable for almost 8 decades. And together, they redefined life after the presidency. They were caring for the most vulnerable, sheltering those in need, and fighting for peace and justice, visiting more than 120 countries. The funeral for Mrs. Carter was held today in Plains, Georgia.
Well, Leah Bowling caught up with a Chattanooga man who remembers her life and her legacy.
Bobby Burton has a lot of respect for the Carters. He had the opportunity to meet them when they visited Chattanooga over a decade ago.
I believe it was 2011, I believe, when they were here. So that was my first encounter with them, you know. I was so impressed with them, though. I was so impressed.
And when he heard Rosalynn Carter passed away?
Oh, man, I was hurt. I was truly hurt. It was almost about like a family member had passed. Such a beautiful woman, such a beautiful woman.
It's this photograph in Burton's home that he will always cherish.
I was going to stand on the outside, you know, so she and the president, her husband, could be side by side. She said, oh, no. She said, you stand in the middle. We're going to stand on the side of you.
He described the encounter with Mrs. Carter like meeting an old friend.
Well, you feel comfortable being around them. Feel comfortable being around, like you've been knowing for a while. And like I said, although it was a brief period of time that I met her.
He added that his heart goes out to former President Jimmy Carter, Rosalynn's husband of 77 years.
He lost his right hand. He lost his right hand. It's hard to accept death anyway, but when you have sudden death, that has more impact on a person.
He says what stands out about her legacy is the way she cared for people.
She would just care for people. She had a heart for people. Had a heart for people, not only here in our country, United States, but around the world. The less fortunate people like this. She just had a heart for them.
He says the world needs more kindness that Rosalynn Carter gave.
And she's going to leave a strong legacy, strong legacy. And I'm, for one, would never forget her.
I'm Leah Bowling, Local 3 News.
She is unforgettable, and her funeral today was a private ceremony for family members and invited guests.
However, the public was welcome to line the motorcade route to pay its respect.